Hello. I have a cat. Here. Actually, let me see if I can grab it. This Poppy. When I used to do my walk and talk, he seemed so unhappy. He's normally not unhappy. It was really funny, actually. I was doing one of the shorts, the contentious shorts, and he jumped up on my table and immediately looked up and saw the camera. Now Lily has basically become like my co-anchor of those videos. She's constantly up there, and she's never noticed the camera. It's really funny to me. So Pop, if you remember back a million years ago, actually it wasn't even when it started, it was sort of like the middle of the channel. I used to do a lot of walk and talks, and we would turn on the live and just literally go for a mile or two walk with my cats. Puppy used to go with me to do that. He's actually the reason I started doing it, is because we were trying to get him to slim down because of the background that he had to endure, where he was caged and not allowed to get around. Anyway, he's been having difficulties jumping up on the bed. He usually sleeps with me. So, and he's getting older. I don't know if it's I don't know if he jumped once and missed and then maybe has injured himself, because he's not acting like anything. I don't know, maybe it's arthritis. He's older. He's a geriatric cat at this point. I don't know, bums me out. And it makes me nostalgic. I know somebody whose birthday is today. And I don't know. I don't know if what my instinct to talk about, if that is something that is like an avoidant thing, like avoidant personality disorder, or if it's specific to me, or what. But I've talked about it before. I am really, really bad at accepting gifts. And people learn pretty quickly. And so I just almost never get anything. My son tries. And it's bizarre to me. Like, if there's anything that I'm like interested in at all, he doesn't wait. He just goes out and he'll get it for me. It's weird. Very strange. And I mean, it's not often. Maybe once a year. Because he knows I'll just get it for myself. So, but in my mind, that went all the way back. That my parents were never like gift givers, but then okay, yes, it's a fact that my mother was friggin' nut about it when she got older. She got really very self-absorbed. But now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I gave them a chance. Like, I was really into astronomy. Like, really into astronomy. Like, I took summer courses in astronomy when I was like, 10 or 11 years old. So my mother got me a microscope. And I mean, close but no cigar. A telescope would have been amazing. But it was a microscope. So she was sort of paying attention, but just not really. Um, Things like my father one year. Now, my father, um, he always wanted to become an architect, and knowing what it actually involves, which is um, super fiddly. I mean, especially back in the day. Now you've got computers that'll help, but basically making sure absolutely everything adds up and it's absolutely precise and you've got the exact measurements, because you know what, if you forget like one piece of trim in, that's multiplied by all the walls, that's multiplied by all of like the rooms in an entire building, I mean, it can be end up being off by 5 feet at the end, when it's really like a quarter of an inch or something, an eighth of an inch. Um, and he would have excelled at that. He really would have. He used to draw these schematics of like battleships and stuff. I mean, really weird. But I mean, he would just draw them out. I actually inherited his drafting ruler after he died. That's what I kept of all the things that he had. That was the thing that was like the most him. Also, notebooks that he made. He would make like paper pads, and he would glue them himself and make them himself. I don't know. I still have a couple of them. Very, very strange. That's what he was into. But I mean, that's what he was into. And one year for Christmas, he made effectively a dollhouse of our house that we lived in. We had a little ranch house. So this thing was like 4 feet wide. And it was, I want to say, maybe 15 inches tall, because it was a ranch house. I mean, it was precise and exact. It was an exact replica of the house. It was really weird that we lived in. I was like, I mean, it was exceptionally weird that he gave it to me, because I never had dolls, never played with dolls. By the way, like, nobody could believe it when I had my son, because I was adamant I was never going to have a kid. Because I was not interested at all in any of the motherhood type stuff. As a child, not at all. Never had a doll. Never, but he made me this massive to scale dollhouse, like painted with the paints that he actually, that our house was painted in and everything. No furniture, no dolls to play with it. This is what I mean. They didn't think it through. But then one year I saw, I think it was in Smithsonian or something like that they were selling a stuffed snowshoe hare rabbit. And I wanted it. And I don't know why I wanted it. I thought it was cute. And they got it to me for Christmas. And it was, I mean, I was, 13, 14 years old, something like that. And I mean, they have all these pictures. They did very few pictures of me, but like a lot of pictures of me with the thing next to me, because I like had it as a almost like a totem, like this thing. It was very weird. I liked stuffed animals that were as close to anatomically correct as possible. I had a duck, a mallard duck with all the bright colors on it. I thought that was great too. Weird kid. Everybody's weird, right? But they did get me that. But the other thing is, again, they I mean, sometimes they were paying attention. Okay. When I was growing up, the heck was it called? I don't know. There was like, I'm sure that people have heard of like Tupperware, um, and like Avon, stuff like that. It was very common that they would have all sorts of things that were, um, you'd get a little um, tiny catalog and then order directly from, your neighbor or whoever, um, who was the sales contact for that, whatever thing it was. And there was one, I can't remember what it's called, home something or other. It was basically home decorations. And I don't know. The bedroom that I inherited, that I grew up in, um, initially we lived in this little ranch, and it was a 2 bedroom, and my parents were in one bedroom, my sister and I were in the other. My sister and I never got along. And my sister insisted she was going to have her own bedroom. And basically what my sister got, she wanted. Anything she wanted, she got. Um, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but my father spent his entire life kissing her ass. So I don't know if she was either just so miserable and he thought it was a challenge, or if he really did something to her and was trying to earn her forgiveness. Anyway, she wanted her own bedroom. So um, my parents um, basically constructed their own new 3rd bedroom in the building, and I got theirs. I inherited theirs. And the reason I got that room was because it was the coldest in the house. uh, I grew up north. I literally would have icicles inside the window. That was a double window. I would have icicles growing inside the window, and I would ice crystals on the ceiling, which actually were kind of pretty. Incredibly cold room, and it was like mint green with a um a basically a gold textured carpet. It was so 70s, it was not even funny. um I don't think it was originally mint, but it was mint by the time that I got it. Anyway, so my mother was constantly having these home decoration catalog things, um where she, if you look into like, the 80s homes, they had like, actually I've seen them come back, like those pictures with those extremely vibrantly winged angel babies and crap like that. These, you know anyway, I'm sure you've seen the aesthetic. That's the type of crap that was in this thing. I went through this book. I mean, the thing was, I wasn't even talking to my mother. I think I was talking to some other kid or something. I was just pointing them all out in this catalog. I was like, well, this little shelf and this little thing, and they would all go together, blah, 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 blah. And as a birthday present, and I mean, it was gaudy. It was plastic, like plastic shelves, and, a mirror with the plastic fake white rattan around. I mean, horrible, horrible stuff. I like real stuff. Like my kitchen table is, I think it's 120, 130 years old now. I don't think it's quite 150, but it's well over 100 years old, that I use every day. Um, that's the type of stuff that I actually like. I have all this black and navy in the corner on my bug chair. There's a chair, this velvet chair with bugs all over it. But gaudy plastic stupid thing. Basically, I don't know. She paid attention and she bought it all of it. And it had like fake strawberries that were like this kind of like extremely dry foam. And if it cracked or broke, it was like white in the middle, but the outside was painted red, like strawberries. Strawberries on vines. It was such a weird stuff. And I mean, it was not. I mean, the thing was, she was also trying really hard to have me not become a goth. She was afraid I was going to dye my hair black and pierce everything. And, you know, I was already moody enough. She didn't need, you know, severely depressed. That's what I was. She was afraid that I was going to be full-blown death goth child. So she bought all this crap, this white strawberry crap, and then painted the walls pink. And as soon as I saw it, she's like, "Yeah, look, I did this for you." I was like, "What have you done?" She's like, "You picked it all out." I'm like, "I pointed out that these things on the different pages in the catalog would go together. I didn't pick them out. I didn't ask for anyone anything to do with this." Yeah. But she's like, "Well, I bought it." I'm like, "You can return it." Nope, I bought it. And then she went and got this absolutely cotton candy bubblegum pink paint and painted over this mint green in this room against my, you know, actually, and that's when I was like, I started putting crap up on the walls. And I had started traveling when I was 15. So I would get the postcards of all the places I went and I would tack them up on the walls and try to get them as tight as possible so I didn't have to see this god awful, hideous, horrible pink, which she didn't prime. So it was pink with these sort of faded shadow of the green coming through. It was such a weird thing. But I didn't have a choice in it. She didn't actually ask me if I wanted it. I pointed this stuff out and she's like, "Huh, they do go together." I guess, you know, I actually pointed them out and she overheard me and got it all together. Surprise! And I'm like, ooh. I don't know. On the one hand, I'm like, kind of listening to me. Kinda. On the other hand, I'm like, but didn't actually ask. I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with it, though. That, I don't know. See, and then I go out of my way to try to get like the best, most perfect gifts from people. I go the opposite. I pay very close attention to what people like and get that for them. So, is that why I don't accept anything from anybody else? I don't like getting paid for my services. That probably came out weird, but you know what I mean? Like I think it's like, okay, for instance, 10 years plus 1,500 videos on YouTube. I keep talking about how I don't get paid on it, and I've turned them down a couple times, at least a handful of times. I don't. It's actually really hard to get monetized. They changed their policy. They're counting more. I'm like, how could you have not counted before? I guess before they weren't counting every single one you would click on, that you would have to actually watch a certain amount before you were getting counted as watching a video. Now they're counting everything, so they've upped something like 8,000 hours. I don't know if it's in a year or if it's in a month or whatever, but I mean it's like it's very hard. If you haven't already been monetized, it's very hard to get monetized now on YouTube, but whatever. But I mean, no, I don't. You know, a lot of the work I do, I don't charge for it. I don't get paid for it. People are kind of astounded for it. I don't accept kindness from other people. I don't accept help unless it's like absolutely there is no way I can do it unless I get somebody to help me out. Other than that, no, I do everything. I do everything on my own. Don't accept help from anybody for any reason whatsoever. Give a lot of help to other people, but do not accept it from other people. Don't accept gifts. Don't accept kindness. Don't accept compliments. That's for damn sure. And I'm really bad at accepting gifts to the point where, I mean, people will come and say, oh my God, you basically gave it right back to me and said no. Usually because, again, I'm like, I don't know if my standards are so damn high that I'm just like, I mean, I'm sure it's like, again, going right back to it. I'm like, I get very triggered if people try to give me a gift. I'm just like, okay, well, you're trying not to know me well enough. You're trying really hard not to know what I'm interested in because you're getting this thing that I wouldn't be interested in. But then I don't let anybody know me well enough to know what I would be interested in. It's so impossible. Oh gosh, cats. Sorry. I'm sorry if that just made everybody really dizzy. I don't know, but I'm highly unsatisfied by everything lately. Like, for instance, I'm really bored with the idea of any kind of food at all. It's like I've eaten everything. So nothing is new and nothing is good. Everything's really boring. Yeah, I'll be like, I want to get something different. Let's go to a grocery store. You know, a grocery store that has literally something like 80,000 things that you can buy, and I'll be like, it's all the same. It's all the same. It's all the same. There's never anything new or interesting. This is pathetic. So I don't know, maybe I'm just like incredibly hard to please. I don't like putting it like that either. This is a weird video. If I wasn't absolutely going to put one out every week, I think I would ditch this one. Because I don't know. I don't know. That's the problem. I don't know. Is this a thing? Is this common? It seems now schema therapy is that you take something and you see how it holds in multiple different parts of, I mean, it's pretty damn consistent that I don't accept anything from anybody, and I'm a really bad gift receiver. So I don't know. Is that normal to go like, okay, the close but no cigar thing is actually insulting. It's not the thought that counts. It's that you were like, you just like glanced over for 2 seconds and then couldn't be bothered with picking up details. Maybe. I don't know. But okay, there we go. There's a video for this week. I don't even know how it applies to avoidant personality disorder. Other than, one, people with avoidant personality disorder do judge more and more harshly than average folk. And they assume they are being judged more and more harshly than they actually are. They do it because they're super aware of it. I mean, there's judgment and then there's condemning based on the judgment. And we don't really condemn. It's more like we're like, we judge, but we don't ditch people because of it. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's just I'm judging people too much. I don't know. I'm trying to bring it back, but I had that thought this week that maybe this is dangerous slope. Maybe my mother was actually trying. She was paying a slight bit of attention. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe I'm being a little black and white in my judgment. I mean, massive, overwhelming amount of evidence to the contrary. Maybe she was trying, but she really wanted the credit more than she wanted to be generous. That is for sure. That is so 100% true. I don't know how much of that sort of behavior made me not be able to trust people, and therefore I became avoidant, and I couldn't just recover from it, because some people can recover from it. Some people are, I mean, they're like hitting the diagnostic criteria and change enough that they're no longer hitting the diagnostic criteria. And I didn't do that. Exactly how much did it take for it to permanently stick where I couldn't come back from it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how you could ever figure that out, but I think it would be, I mean, kind of interesting to figure. I mean, the thing is if somebody becomes avoidant, their family is not like actively abusive. They're doing a lot of gaslighting behavior, but they're not abusive enough that anybody could pick up on it. So even we could figure out this is how much somebody can take before they're permanently having a personality disorder. I mean, how would we catch anybody before they got to that point? But if we could say, listen, this is what it is. This is how far somebody needs to push somebody before they are like stuck there forever. I don't know. It would be interesting to try to figure that out. Figure out how far they can go. But I don't know it would help at all. And I also think it would be pretty individual as far as an amount. I don't know. Whatever. Whatever. There's my video for the week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.